សមាជិកគណៈបកសង្គ្រោះជាតិប្រាជ្ញាផ្លូវសាមគ្គីក្រុមនានាសង្គ្រោះបំរើការពារកម្ពុជាខ្មែរក្រុមគ្រប់គ្នាទាមទារសិទ្ធិសេរីឯករាជ្យបូរណភាពអធិបតេយ្យខ្មែរប្រស្រីបដូរផ្ដាច់ថែរក្សាមិនឲ្យបរទេសឈ្លានពានមកត្រួតត្រាសម្បត្តិដូនតាធនធានជាតិខ្មែរព្រះអាទិត្យរាំងបំភ្លឺកម្ពុជាខ្មែរឯកភាពគ្នាដងស្រាយបញ្ហាយោបាយសេដ្ឋកិច្ចសង្គមអហិង្សាសពវត្តថ្លៃថ្លាជីវភាពរុងរឿងដីយើងពូជយើងភូខលយើងខ្មែរក្រោកឡើងសង្គមជាខេមរាបោះឆ្នោតឲ្យចំដល់អំណាចជូនប្រជាដើម្បីកម្ពុជារួមរឿងសេងសានជ័យយោគណៈបកសង្គ្រោះជាតិសមាជិកគណៈបកសង្គ្រោះជាតិប្រាជ្ញាថ្មីគ្មានសាមគ្គីក្រុមនានាសង្គ្រោះបំរើការពារកម្ពុជាខ្មែរគ្រប់គ្នាទាមទារសិទ្ធិសេរីឯករាជ្យបូរណភាពអធិបតេយ្យខ្មែរប្រស្រីបដូរផ្ដាច់ថែរក្សាមិនឲ្យបរទេសឈ្លានពានមកត្រួតត្រាសម្បត្តិដូនតាធនធានជាតិខ្មែរព្រះអាទិត្យរាំងបំភ្លឺកម្ពុជាខ្មែរឯកភាពគ្នាដងស្រាយបញ្ហាយោបាយសេដ្ឋកិច្ចសង្គមអហិង្សាសពវត្តថ្លៃថ្លាជីវភាពរុងរឿងដីយើងពូជយើងភូខលយើងខ្មែរក្រោកឡើងសង្គ្រោះជាតិខេមរាបោះឆ្នោតឲ្យចំផ្ដល់អំណាចជូនប្រជាដើម្បីកម្ពុជារួមរឿងសេងសាន
Good evening and welcome to Khmer Youth Voices for Justice. Thank you for joining our show. This program is under CNRP America. My name is Linda Wu and I am live right now from the beautiful state of California. Again, this show is in English. And the purpose of this show is to bring awareness to our second and third generations of Khmer youth overseas of the political situations in Cambodia. So I hope that you tune in. I hope you share this with our Khmer youths so they will understand what's going on. Today's show, I have a wonderful guest. She's been here many times already. She's been here, and again, this show is in English. So, please share, please like our show. If you have any topic and you want to discuss, or you want to be talk about in English, please send me or drop me a comment, and we'll take it and we'll discuss this again. This is Khmer Youth Voices for Justice. Today is April 25th, 2023. The topic for today is monthly briefing. Basically, we will sum up what's going on for the whole month of April. We are unfortunately the last week of April. So I hope that you had a great New Year's for the last 2 weeks, and hopefully the year start out really great for you. So if you are great, I hope you pass on the sometime when your life is all wonderful. I hope that you pass pass on and be thankful and use your voices for to strengthen democracy in Cambodia. So that's what I hope. Um, not to how our viewer waiting, I would like to introduce my guest. Basically, she's not a guest today. She should be my co-host. So my co-host, Brittany Baker, let me bring her out. Brittany. How are you?
I'm good. I'm pretty good. No complaints.
No complaint. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thanks for the opportunity to come and give a breakdown of some highlights from the last month.
Brittany usually join our show a minimum of one time per month, and most of the time she probably twice a month, depend on how much I need her. So thank you, Brittany, for being here. Thank you for it is 9 o'clock in Columbus, Ohio, basically 9:30 in Columbus, Ohio. It's time to go in for tonight. Call it night, but she is here. She's up and she's still alert, and hopefully she not falling asleep while we discuss all this topic for this month. Did you do anything fun for New Year's, for Khmer New Year's?
Unfortunately, I didn't because I was traveling out of the United States, so I was pretty preoccupied with that. But I hope everyone's celebrations were fun and safe, and everyone got quality time with their friends and family. What about you? I saw you were pretty busy there at your temples.
We pretty busy, but we pretty good. I spend time at the temple Saturday and Sunday, so we did 2 weekends of celebrations. So a lot of people joined the celebration. So thank you so much for everyone that come out to Pomona temples and celebrate Khmer New Year with us. And a good turnout, great work, great job on everybody, but it's just a lot of work. But it's a lot of sacrifice. It's nothing easy. So we hope to do it again next year.
Good. I hope you can also.
Our topic, like you said, we're gonna be doing monthly briefing. I know you are very environmentalist, or very can I say what's another word to describe you? You're vegetarian. You're very concerned for the animal well-being. You're very concerned about the life. I mean, you're concerned about people as well. But you are out there advocating for animal, I'm hoping you're advocating for tree and natural resources as well. You are here talking to me, so but meaning that you are care and you concern deeply about Cambodia, because you've been to Cambodia many times, more than probably people that I know of that is not Khmer. And then so you are very concerned. So on April 22nd, what we call Earth Day in America, and I'm assuming Earth Day internationally, it's Earth Day. What does it mean for you, Brittany?
Yeah, great question. I think this is a really special day, and something that we should carry on every day, and the practices and the principles that we should live by. Earth Day started more than 50 years ago in the United States, and led to stronger regulations and more awareness about environmental issues and how to live in a more sustainable way. And I think it's even more important now that we are aware of things, as there is a very pressing climate disaster world that we're living in, that we're seeing like more extreme weathers, more flooding, and we all have some role to play in that. Whether you're thinking about small actions, everyone can do something to be more mindful about the resources that we're using and how to be more environmentally friendly. And then, of course, putting pressure on lawmakers to
create more sustainable programs and policies that are regulating the fossil fuel industry and things like that, and protecting the forests and our natural resources and the wildlife, of course.
Talking about forests, and you have been, let's bring up some topic about forests. You've been to Cambodia, so how's since of your first time there and since now, what's the forest like? Are
It's
we getting better? Are we getting even more, we getting more tree, more shade? Or are we just getting more development, empty spaces?
Yeah, good question. From the first time that I was there in 2016 to a few months ago when I was there, there's unfortunately a lot less trees, a lot less green space in general. I remember the road from the capital to, I think, National Road 1 that is like through Kien Swai to the provinces used to be a few houses here and there, a market or two. And it's just now, when I was there a couple of months ago, there's a great deal of flooding to the point where people have to really change their traffic patterns and things like that, because there's been so much like development along that national road that you're changing the patterns of the water flow. So the people that live there are really sort of displaced by the changing weather patterns and the lack of infrastructure that will help with the increased water, because there are fewer trees and we know, we fill in all of the lakes. Okay, so where's the water going to go? So the people that are living along National Road 1, just for example, many other roads have the same issue too, but the people that are living there are now really affected by these changes. And it makes you wonder, is it a development project that supports the people that live there, the most vulnerable people, or is it a development project that is just to make money for outside people or very select elite people? And also, when I was there last year and even recently, there have been extreme hot days. And the weather in Cambodia, of course, is very hot naturally, but it's even more extreme now, similar to some of the environmental extremes that we're seeing here in the United States. So I think when you are changing the forest and more development projects and things like that, you're naturally going to see warmer temperatures. But a lot of people really suffer because of those warmer temperatures.
I think they were having pretty wild temperature right now. It's probably very hot right now. That's what I was seeing the post on people putting water for their dogs, make sure the animal have water. Talking about natural resources, I'm gonna play a short clip, and then we will discuss about that, because and I actually also have a 3 minutes video on before and after, but we'll do this video so that way we can go into um, our topic. I mean, not our topic, our discussions on forest and reforest. So basically, um, there's a lot of tree being cut down in Cambodia, deforestations. So in trying to better his image, the regime is planting trees. I mean, they're cutting down all this big lumber, this tree in different locations, different mountain, but they planting this tiny tree that it's not even going to develop and going to grow into the location that. So before we even go dive into this topic, I want to show our audience a pictures, a very short, like less than a minute, so that way our audience will understand what's going on. Can you hear the noise? Can
Yeah,
you hear the? Oh,
we
you
can.
can. Okay.
Yeah.
One of our audience say there's no noise.
There's a sound, but there are no words to that video.
Yeah, that's nobody talking.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. I have that one doesn't have a noise. That only show a top, the top view of the location, which is what we did was called Phnom Tamau. So I will show you what Phnom Tamau was 3 years ago, and the drone shot from somebody who actually did this one. It's only like 3 minutes long, but I want us to watch what's the difference. So that way our youth people that's not familiar with Cambodia can understand what's the difference of this. I think our audience got the point. Oh, the top shot. And this is the article that came out. This article came out on March 21st, 2020. It's talking about fallen forest, Cambodia political reforestations unlikely to survive. This is by the Globe line of through across Southeast Asia. Let me show you. You'll be shocked to see what it's look like right now. This is the image that you just watched from the we have the on top view or the map view from the top. We have the image of the drone shot that's 3 years ago, full of forest, and here is the image that in March of this year. What's missing, Brittany?
So frustrating. The trees are missing, like the habitat that sustained those endangered animals are missing. The animals, they were used to that being a safe place for them, and it became very safe overnight. It's really sad.
And this, I'm not sure you can see. You can see this all these images. it's like within less than 1 week that they clear out this the mountains called Phnom Tamau, where there's animal there, and so all these clearing out all these forests. So we are talking about right now that he so kind, he stopped all this forestation to have his bodyguard help to plant the tree. And this is I can say probably 6 months ago. And have you seen a new picture of the new tree growing yet, Brittany?
I haven't seen any, but I've read some pretty extensive reports from conservationists, and they suggest that the rushed replanting or attempts to reforest the area will not be effective because they did not use their methods weren't backed in science that such as like planting diverse tree species. They didn't do that. They ignored what the conservationists recommended, and they only planted 1 or 2 types of tree species. Whereas before it was a very diverse diverse forest. So it's unlikely that the new tree saplings will be anything like what was cut down. And it's really sad because nearly half of the forest was depleted, just totally demolished in 7 days.
Yes. So, from what I understand, is they're not even allowed to take pictures where the tree, the this tiny little tree, this skinny little tree that being planted, and if we're lucky at all, those will survive. But because this is April in Cambodia, it's a dry season, so most likely will not survive. And based on the article that we read on the Globe, it's very unlikely that the tree will grow, that all the tree will grow. And also, like you said, 6 months after deforestations, that's all you see. The picture that I show you in beginning, I want to share, and one the devastating, really devastating. Like our viewer said, I wouldn't even call it tree.
Right.
Shrub, then what we call shrub.
Right. Yeah, it's so sad.
Yes, you just see, I guess it's called grass, a little grass there, a little weed, little shrub, little, not even shrub. I don't think it's when you call that. So it's sad. It's sad to see that, where we couldn't even we for the last, like I show our audience 3 years ago, it was just covered with forest. And now if you go to visit the same temple, gonna be totally different surrounding, no more tree.
Right.
So talking about tree, talking about caring so much about environmental, talking about so much about bringing attention to Cambodia. Before New Year's, Cambodia has what it call, let me show you a picture so that way we can start talking on this image. Oh, let me show you another picture here. This is different locations. And we are in Cambodia. It's looking like this.
Right. And I think we should spend a minute to talk about like why this happened. Like what was the reason for this mass clearing of this forest that had long been a safe space. Do you want to answer that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
No, it's the floor is yours, Brittany.
Yeah, it was totally for private. Well, first of all, I should say that there was very little like public transparency with this. It was pretty unclear what the intentions of Hun Sen was, but it had been a long time coming that this land would be parceled out for tycoons, people that are very, very wealthy, people that have direct connection to CPP, politically connected tycoons who wanted a stake in this. and totally disregarded the NGOs, the international NGOs, the Cambodian NGOs that have long done work in this area to preserve and to offer an environmental education component too that's open to the general public. So it was all for money. There still is a lot of mystery about how the land would actually be used. But it was parceled out. It was cut up in pieces, despite it being protected and it housing many endangered species. It was parceled for political gain, and also Hun Sen made it after 7 days of public outcry. There was a Facebook post that essentially halted the deforestation, but of course, we don't know if it's forever halted or just temporarily halted because there was such a public outcry. And of course, a lot of environmental activists who put their lives on the line to try to stop the massively destructive project.
The issue with that is it's a public land, meaning that if you are a normal citizen and you go and you camp out on this land, it's illegal. But when the regime cut this land and cut it into, not cut, sign this land out to a company such and such to develop, it's okay. And those land and those company are tied to the Hun family. So public land that protected all these forests that you see, all the zoo and all these animals, and it's all protected. But they can do whatever they want. They sign off and they said, 3, 4, 5,000 hectare would give to a certain tycoon. One of our viewers know it very well. So it's a public land. If Brittany want to go and camp out on those land, it's illegal. I go camp out, it's illegal. And first of all, we couldn't even get close to that because it's bodyguard. Nobody can go in. And so when they develop this, usually they develop into what they call next generation city building and stuff. And when they sell this property, first they sell the forest, then they sell the property. So all win-win to their pocket, and none of this go to the Cambodian people at all. Besides the Cambodian people themselves, that they're family related. Anything else you want to cover regarding, they selling this tree, they selling the tree?
Yeah. Well, also, I think we should very clearly say that I remember when this happened and certain people were praising Hun Sen for stepping in and saving the forest and saving the trees, and his brave intervention, his strong leadership led to the reforestation of this and halting the project. And that's just it's just wrong. It's misleading and it's misinformation because his shady partnerships and dealings is what led to nearly 50% of the forest being cleared in 7 days. Anyways, without his partnerships with the tycoons, then the forest would still be standing, presumably still be standing as it was for many, many years, as a protected space for endangered species and a place, an opportunity for people to go and learn more about the environment and the endangered wildlife there.
Correct. And without his backing, no one will able to do anything. So it's his support, his family, his background, his crony. Now when we're talking about cutting tree, we're getting this back.
Oh God.
I don't think you can see it.
I can see it. I think we can see it.
Can the audience see what it is that I'm showing on the screen?
I think so. Samuel can answer that for us.
It's what's called a million hearts. I wasn't sure what the heart made of. Oh, there we go. He said a million hearts. Oh, he gave us 5 of them. I'm not sure, is it plastic or is it paper? But from cutting down the tree, we got all these million hearts. This is before New Year's. How how useful is this? How culture? How for people that looking from here, does it bring any culture value, anything to Cambodia at all?
It's so frustrating that you're doing this like on a sacred like temple land. I think the temples are enough by themselves. I don't think you need to like glam up or add color to this wonderful place as it is. It's incredibly wasteful and so frustrating when you realize there are so many other needs, basic needs. It was just recently that how many people around the temples who were living in informal,
Evicted, right? Evicted
yeah,
from
they were
the
evicted.
yeah.
Like hundreds of people were evicted from that area. They were forced out. And Amnesty International said, hey, that's not right. They have a right to be there. And still they were evicted. So it's incredibly frustrating to see such a superficial, ridiculous display like this.
It's a wasteful time, wasteful paper, wasteful resource, wasteful also people that work on putting this heart 1 million hearts. Um, so all around this wastewater. Talking about heart, I just remember something. It's off topic, but I believe it's yesterday. Hun San said his country is small, but if they have big heart, um, what's coming up? I think in the next 10 days they have sea game. So he said it. From that heart now to Cambodia, it's a small but it has big heart. So um, he has a really big heart, Brittany.
No,
No.
we were just talking about the evictions and the, forced displacement and land grabs and cutting of forests and things like that. I think it's the direct opposite of a big heart. The general people, the everyday people have a big heart, but people who make those decisions like don't have a heart at all.
Unfortunately, like Samuel said, free attendance. That's good for the Cambodian to watch the game. Also, foreigner, I think they sleep and eat free as well for the SEA game. So that's a really big heart where he should have directed that resource to go and help the needy in Cambodia. Spot the people in spot from other country. Sure, that no need to be supportive. There's no need to be supporting with food and hospitality. His own people, Cambodia people that living in the countryside that begging for money, begging for food, need his support, need the regime support. Unfortunately, um, big heart, but not big heart to his own people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, Brittany.
Welcome.
Let me see. Okay. April 29 is the 11th-year anniversary of one of the um, biggest environmental person. He got killed 11 years ago. He's Chudwati. His name is Chudwati. He worked to protect the forest. 11 years ago, he got killed. Um, they kill him. And ending impunity campaign that we did, um, one of them is him because we cannot. Till this day, we don't know who the real killer is,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no justice for him. There's no justice for his family. Let me bring up a picture so our audience can see who are we talking about? Which one are we talking about? So can you see that? Okay. Yeah, our topic on environmental, talking about forest is leading up to the 11th anniversary of Mr. Chutbuti that they killed. There's still no justice. Do you know anything about him, Brittany?
I do. Because many times on this show we've talked about current modern day environmental activists, climate defenders who have been threatened, harassed, jailed for their work. So I believe that he was one of the um, figures, one of the mentors of many of those young people, the youth activists who follow in his footsteps and try to bring attention to environmental injustices and such as the deforestation and issues that are happening on the borders in particular.
I have a short video clip I want to share so our audience would understand when on April 29 why we celebrate this man, what he's meant to the environmental protections in Cambodia. And I want to stress that you cannot watch this film in Cambodia. This film is banned, and the title of the film I Am Chulbuti. This is a trailer. It's 2 minutes long, but you can watch this movie on YouTube. Let me do a corrections. He was um, he was shot to death on April 26th, not April 29th, April 26th, 2012, while he was investigating illegal logging in southern Cambodia in Gahrong province. So he's very active. He's organized community to protect the forest in Cambodia, and he's campaign against the government that giving land, talking about land concessions in national park and wildlife sanctuary. So it is 11 years, and it is still no justice for him, for his family, um, and for people that he worked with. So very unfortunate. A man that very know, he's out there protecting the environment. It's been 11 years. How do you see? I know you've been to Cambodia. You told already that was not improving. Um, you think is it still worth fighting? People that in his group that's still fighting like Mother Nature, that they still fighting. Is it worth it to fight?
Yeah, it's absolutely worth it to fight. And although that film is officially banned in Cambodia, many people have found their ways to see it. It's available both in Khmer and in English. So I think there is, of course, an interest, a passion. Still, there are many environmental activists and climate defenders who are active in different ways across Cambodia. And just last year, a few of the youth environmental activist groups came together and demanded that his case be reopened and reevaluated the conditions of his death, because, as you mentioned, no one has been held to account for the murder more than a decade ago. So there's definitely a strong initiative to carry on his legacy, because after his murder, the way I understand it is there was a massive increase of forest deforestation and climate destruction as a result of greed and corruption and fewer environmental activists. And of course, when someone of that level is murdered, of course, it's going to put a lot of fear in people. Rightfully so. People would be afraid to continue with their activism. However, there are still people that are on the front lines, making themselves heard, and connecting with other groups is really powerful as well. And I really commend and admire the young people that are prioritizing this.
Thank you, Brittany. This is according to Radio Free Asia. This is from last year. Cambodia lost, this is last year, we're not counting 2023 yet, lost 26% of its tree cover, equivalent to 5.7 million acres. So since the year 2000, since the year 2000 till 2022, so 22 years, not counting 2023 and not counting the mountain from the mouth that we talk about. So as the year progressed, Cambodia is losing forest. Cambodia is losing lake. Cambodia losing basically natural resources, and it's very important that the youth know what's going on, and you have to know who behind that. Um, it's the state. We cannot say if Hun Sen say if Hun Sen responsible for people are praying him for Phnom Damau is saying, oh yeah, he stopped the deforestations. It's under his watch. He let it happen. It's like somebody slap you and then pat you in the back instead. That's how I think that's how it sounds. And it's losing so much of this natural resources, and it's devastating. So our topic today was just briefing, go over everything, but it just happened that our topic land on forestations, on deforestations. So anything else you want to add regarding Earth Day? That's one of the big day on April 22nd, just 3 days ago. I know U.S. Embassy probably put out a video a little bit of that. I don't see a big celebrations in Cambodia unless I missed. I'm so busy. I don't when I don't see it. So hopefully there's attentions. And also, when we're talking about Phnom Damau, we also need to encourage our youth in Cambodia and current people in Cambodia to come together and protect the natural forest. This case, many people post on Facebook, many people are complaining, and so the voice of the people mean a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it changed, even though change, they trying to fix what's already, they are fixing something that's already done or ruined by them, and fixing something that's not too standard. It's basically a quick fix just to be in front of the camera, and it's not going to work. Unfortunately, half of the tree that they plant, it's going to be dead.
Yeah. And like one of our guests said, the deforestation is extremely lucrative because the big, massive, full-grown trees that they were taking out are much more marketable versus the tiny saplings that will probably not survive, the ones that were replanted. So it's very lucrative. I think we've all seen the pictures of massive trucks that are leaving the forest with trees that are probably 30, 40, 50, 60 years old. So it's incredibly lucrative. And I think there might be a tendency to place the frustration or the blame on the people that are taking out the timber from the forest. But really, if you trace back the demand and who is actually executing those actions, it's the tycoons and the politically motivated people up the chain. So I think we just have to remember to come together and unite our anger and our frustration to try to find some action, rather than getting lost in the sadness of it all, or the feelings of defeat.
Yeah, and we demand to see some pictures. I believe it's over 6 months, at least 6 months ago. So we demand to see the picture, even though we don't believe those trees survive. We want to see. We want to see the regime. The regime say he's fixing, and Chutwati. It's been 11 years and Chutwati was assassinated. We can call that, and there's nothing improved at all.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Any other topic? I know animal is where you're one of your passion, and I know there's monkey business that we've been talking about. I know they were at court either this past week or last week. They were at court. Any update? Do you follow that at all? What's going on?
I haven't seen any update other than the friends of the minister that is being charged, just doubling down on their belief that he didn't take any wild monkeys, and that they were all lab grown monkeys and they weren't from the wild. So just more of those justifications for his actions, even though he's in a position that is supposed to be a leader for conservation and protection of animals and wildlife and things like that. So it's just more ridiculousness.
And I think PETA, is it PETA that also might be involved? It's very big organizations. What does it stand for, Brittany? You should know.
Ethical people for the ethical treatment of animals.
Yeah. In America, they are very big. They are everybody love their animal in America. So, and he's actually going again PETA. PETA is very strong on this animal protections on anything. So we will hear more on their case, because I think they just barely started on the court case in Florida. So we will talk some more as soon as we get more information.
Yeah.
Anything we want to cover this past month?
Let me see my notes here. Well, I also just want to acknowledge the 10 youth organizations that came together recently and petitioned the Ministry of Information to reinstate VOD, which is perhaps the last independent media outlet, news outlet in Cambodia that shut mid-February. So again, just acknowledging the hard work and the bravery of those youth organizations that are collaborating and demanding a re-emergence of the civil society.
There are also, when we're talking about people that continue to do their work, people that are still there on the ground fighting and advocating, we cannot forget about Friday Women also. They're still there every single Friday, asking for the release of their husband, and they're out there. So that's one of the group. Mother Nature still doing their work. So we are grateful. We are that they are still on the ground. They are still in Cambodia working to get for changes.
Yeah.
I think we covered pretty good. We did pretty good cover today on environmental issue, bringing awareness on what's going on in Cambodia. Anything in the U.S. you want to talk about?
Oh God.
Okay, let save that for the next time.
Yeah. From Ohio, there's a lot of things to talk about.
Okay, we'll spend a day talking about Ohio on the next time. Well, Brittany, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for giving your insight. Thank you for supporting our show, for being here. Also, thank you for bringing awareness to our youth. And I want our youth to know that Brittany she's out there. She's advocating for Cambodians. She's helped the Cambodian community in Ohio. So she does it all. So reach out to her, reach out to me. Any topic you want to know about. There's a questions that that question that I was asked last month. I'm gonna have you answer it. Does Cambodia have a dictator in Cambodia?
Who asked that question?
It's a Khmer youth that asked me that.
Okay, well, this is a
They
good
say,
question.
I will ask on the show, because I will ask someone on the show, but I already explained it already to him, and I just want for your input on it.
Yeah, great question. I encourage the youth to ask those questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question. So it's how we get involved in this work and find our place. To answer the question, I would say yes, without a doubt. The so-called prime minister has been in power for 40 years by force, not by true election or the expression of the will of the people. Hopefully that'll change with the upcoming national election. But it's hard when when you're working within a system that is inherently corrupt and one-sided. So yes, dictatorship, but it doesn't have to be like that. It's not the true will of the people.
Thank you, Brittany.
Welcome.
I didn't see any questions from our audience. Our audience, if you have any questions, you can ask me, you can ask Brittany, and we are more than happy to answer your questions. Seem like they are pretty good with our topic tonight. Hopefully we cover all the deforestations, and I guess Sam, you want to know Ohio, Cincinnati, or Ohio, Cleveland?
Good question. I am in Columbus, the capital of Ohio.
Okay. Thank you, Brittany.
You're welcome.
Okay. In that note, thank you for being here. We will end our show this way. So thank you for being here again. Looking forward to our next monthly update. We'll talk about, I'm sure, the wasteful spending that the regime spent on SEA Game, feeding the athlete, housing the athlete for free. It's for free attendance to go see game. That's okay with me, but to feeding the foreign people that come to play the game, they should be paying the price. Not those countries should be help pay the price instead of just eat free and sleep free. So that's my opinion. We'll talk about that in our next month, the end of the month. So we'll see Brittany the end of May. So thank you, Brittany, and hopefully you have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining our show. This is Khmer Youth Voices for Justice. This show is under CNRP America. My name is Linda Wu. I am live from Los Angeles, California. Let me know if you in town. I would love to meet you, meet our audience. If you have any topic that you would like for us to talk about next week, please drop them on the comment line. I do read them. Sometimes I respond to them. Mostly I respond to them. It's depending on what's your questions. And I am looking forward to seeing you next week. Hope you have the good rest of the night. And also I hope you have a really good month end for April. As we go into May next month. I know it's May already, it's almost half the year. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your lively conversation, your lively comments. So thank you and keep them coming. And I hope you learn something from this show. Again, thank you and good night.